Queens Real Estate Market Report year over year 2025 versus 2026. Welcome back everyone. I'm Maureen Folan, the queen of Queens Real Estate. And if you've been watching this channel, you know I just don't give you fluff. I give you real numbers straight from our multiple listing service. Today we're doing something special. We're comparing the first half of 2025 versus the first half of 2026 side by side for 4 of the most competitive neighborhoods in Queens: Bayside, Flushing, Fresh Meadows, and Whitestone. Both reports are pulled directly from One Key MLS, both as of June 16th. So this is an apples to apples comparison, same date range, same neighborhoods, same property type, single family residential. And what I'm gonna show you is that this market has shifted and you need to understand exactly how. Whether you're a buyer or a seller or just someone who owns a home in Queens and wants to know what it's worth, stay with me. This is the data that matters, the big picture. Let's start with the most basic question. How much is actually selling? In the first half of 2025, from January 1st through June 16th, there were 329 closed sales across these 4 neighborhoods. That's a substantial sample size, nearly 1 sale every single day. Fast forward to the same period in 2026, and we have 264 sales. That is a drop of 65 transactions, roughly a 20% decrease in volume. Now, before anyone panics, let me put this into context. Fewer sales does not mean the market is falling apart. In fact, I'm gonna show you in a moment that prices are actually up. What fewer sales tells us is that inventory is still tight. There simply aren't enough homes coming to the market to satisfy demand. Think of it this way. If you have 10 buyers chasing 5 homes, you get bidding wars. If you have 10 buyers chasing 3 homes, you get even more competitive bidding wars, but fewer deals actually close because there's less to buy. That is exactly the dynamic playing out in Queens right now in 2026. Less volume does not mean less demand. It just means less supply. Hey, I wanted to share something for free. I prepared a home seller preparation checklist for residents of Queens and Long Island. This guide will give you everything you need to know about preparing your home for sale. So if you click on the link below in the comments, you'll download your own copy for free. Or if you visit maureenfolan.com, you'll be able to get your seller checklist there. So thank you so much, and let's get back to it. Now let's talk about the number everyone really wants to know. What are the homes actually selling for? Here are the headline numbers, straight from the MLS. The first half of 2026, the median sold price is 1.130 and the average selling price is 1,178,000. So that median is up 50,000. That's a 4.6 increase in just 1 year. The average is up 56,000, roughly 5% year over year. In a high cost market like Queens, a 5% gain on a 1.1 million median home represents real wealth creation for homeowners. That's over a 55,000 in equity gain in just 12 months on average, just by owning a home here. Now let me give you the price range story, because this is where things get interesting. On the low end in 2025, the cheapest recorded sale was $625,000. In 2026, the floor is around $680,000 for a true single family. So even the entry level is creeping up. At the top of the market in 2025, the highest legitimate sale in this data set was $2,340,000. In 2026, we saw a sale close at $2.670, a new ceiling for the comparable period. The entire price curve is shifting upward. This is not a bubble. This is Queens catching up to where it should have been years ago, driven by inventory constraints, strong demand, and buyers who keep getting priced out of other markets. Let me give you the price per square foot picture, because this is one of the most honest metrics in real estate. In 2025, the median price per square foot was approximately $696 per square foot. In 2026, median price per square foot climbed to approximately $718 square foot. That's roughly an $18 to $22 per square foot increase year over year, or about 2.6 to 3.2% on a per foot basis. Why does this matter? Because square footage doesn't lie. You can manipulate a sold price by how you define a home, how many bedrooms, condition, lot size, but when you look at the per square foot cost across the thousands of transactions, you're seeing the true trajectory of the market. And the trajectory is up. For sellers, this is your baseline. For buyers, this is your benchmark. If you're being offered a home at significantly more than $714 a square foot without a clear reason, renovated kitchen, prime block, larger lot, you need to ask why. Days on the market, how fast are these properties moving? This is the metric that tells you who's in control, buyers or sellers. Days on the market in 2025, the average days in the market was 60. The days in the market in 2026 2026, average days in the market is 55. So here's what's interesting. The average came down from 60 to 55 days. That gap closing tells us something important. The tail of the overpriced stale listings is getting shorter. Sellers are getting smarter, or their agents are getting smarter about pricing it correctly the first time. The homes that are priced right in 2026 are still moving within 2 to 4 weeks. And when I look at the fastest movers in both data sets, we have homes selling in 0 to 7 days multiple times in both years. Those are well-priced homes that hit the market clean, ready to show, and attracted multiple offers immediately. The homes sitting 100, 150, 200 plus days, almost without exception, they were overpriced at the start. And when you look at what they eventually sold for versus their original list price, it's painful. We're talking 76, 77%, even 69% of original asking price after months on the market. The lesson here is the same as it's always been. Price it right from day one. The market rewards accurate pricing. It punishes wishful thinking. Let me give you what I call the negotiation metric, the percentage of list price that sellers actually receive. The average close to list ratio was 98.4% in 2025. 2026, the average close to list ratio was 94.3%. Now, this is one area where the market has shifted slightly in favor of the buyers. In 2025, sellers were routinely getting at or above list price, with averages right around 98 cents on the dollar. In 2026, that's moderated to about 94 to 95 cents on the dollar. But, and this is critical, the average is being pulled down by the outliers, the homes that were mispriced from the start and sat for months. When you look at the correctly priced homes in 2026, they're still routinely closing at 100%, 101%, even 110% of list price. We had a home in Fresh Meadows in 2026 at 7523 168th Street, which was listed at $799,000 and sold for $820,000. That's 102.6% of list. A home on Metcalf Avenue in Fresh Meadows listed at $849,000 and sold at $835,000. That's 98.4% of list price. Over and over again, when sellers trust the process and price accurately, they win. Now let me walk you through what's happening neighborhood by neighborhood, because Bayside doesn't move the same way as Flushing, and Whitestone has its own personality. Bayside continues to be one of the most competitive submarkets in this data set. In both 25 and 2026, we're seeing strong activity in the $9 to $1.3 million range for 3-bedroom single-family homes. The neighborhood draws both move-up buyers from other parts of Queens and buyers coming from Manhattan who want more space. In 2026, we have sales like 3321 201st Street at $798,000, selling at 101% of list price, and 4826 Clearview Expressway, listed at $828,000, sold for 103% of list price. Strong demand, competitive bidding. Flushing is the highest volume market and the most diverse in terms of price range. You have entry-level single-family homes in the mid-700s and luxury products pushing well past $1.5 million. One trend worth noting in 2026, we're seeing more homes in Flushing sell above list price than in 2025, a sign that demand there is intensifying. 4718 190th Street listed at $720,000 and sold for $760,000. That's almost 109% of list price. That's a bidding war. Fresh Meadows has quietly become one of the best value propositions in Queens for families. It offers more square footage per dollar than Bayside or Whitestone while still being extremely accessible. In 2026, we're seeing homes here consistently trade between $900,000 and $1.3 million range, with well-priced listings moving fast. 75-23 168th Street was listed at $820,000 and sold 102% of list price in just 9 days on the market. Whitestone is the prestige market in this data set. Median prices here tend to run higher, the lots tend to be larger, and the days on market can run a bit longer because the buyer pool is more selective. In 2026, we're seeing strong activity in the $1 million to $1.5 million range, with some luxury sales pushing towards 2.6. The key in Whitestone is condition and presentation. Buyers here are sophisticated and they know what they're looking at. And what does this mean for sellers? If you own a home in Bayside, Flushing, Fresh Meadows, or Whitestone, here is your takeaway. Your home is worth more today than it was a year ago. Full stop. Medians are up 4.6%. Per square foot values are up nearly 3%. The market has not peaked, softened, or turned. But, and I want you to hear this, the sellers who are winning are the ones who are strategic. They're not throwing a number on the wall and hoping that it sticks. They're working with agents who understand understand the data, who know how to price in this specific neighborhood on this specific block, who know how to present a home and attract multiple offers in the first 2 weeks. The sellers who are struggling are the ones who started too high, chased the market down, and ultimately sold for less than they would have if they priced it on day one. What does this mean for buyers? For buyers, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is still a seller's market. Prices are higher than they were a year ago. Competition is real. The homes that are priced correctly are gone fast. But here's the opportunity. With the average close to list ratio coming down slightly to 94 to 95%, there's more room to negotiate on the right home, particularly anything that has been sitting more than 45 to 60 days. Those sellers have already felt the sting of the market and they're ready to do a deal. The buyers who win in this market move decisively and have their financing locked up before they even start shopping. And they work with a buyer's agent who knows how to structure an offer that stands out just beyond the price. Let me leave you with the bottom line. Queens real estate in the first half of 2026 is showing higher prices, slightly lower volume, faster average absorption, and continued strong demand across all 4 neighborhoods that we covered today. If you're thinking about selling your home, now is a great time. Inventory is limited, buyers are active, and the data shows that well-priced homes are still commanding strong offers. If you're thinking about buying, the longer you wait, the more you'll pay. That has been true every year for the past decade in Queens, and the 2026 is continuing that trend. I'm Maureen Folan. I have sold over 1,600 homes in this market, over $1 billion in verified sales, and I'm here every week breaking down the numbers so you don't have to guess. And I want you to know exactly what your home is worth in today's market. Not a Zillow estimate, not a neighbor's rumor. Call me, 646-651-7127, or visit my website at maureenfolan.com. I'll give you a real number backed by real data. I want you to subscribe, leave a comment below with your neighborhood, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.